Hey again everyone, and welcome to the next part of the vector portrait tutorial. I've already lost count on which video this is, but we are just gonna keep pushing through. In this video, I'm gonna focus mostly on the hair, and you might have noticed that in the last one I kind of stopped on her blouse because I didn't want to go into the details. Technically for the portrait, you don't really have to go into those details. If you want to, you can, but I really just want to see the neck and the face and head of the person. So I am going to go into the hair now. Notice that even like the top of her hair is sort of cut off. If you want to make it up and figure out how it looks like, you can, but otherwise, if your hair is cut off too, you can just kind of follow that line. In my case, I'm going to make it up. So I'm going to imagine that it sort of loops around like this. And we are just going to get the general shape of the hair first. We're not going to go into any like crazy details. If there are some parts that are like sticking out like this, then you can add maybe a little sharp edge to make it look more like hair if you care to go into those details, but obviously you don't have to. It'll just make it look more realistic in the long run. I am going to just speed this part up so you guys can see what the finished shape is going to look like. Once I reach this point, you might be a little bit confused. Her hair is long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trace around her face because the hair is ultimately going to end up being on top of the face, as you can see here. So I do have to be careful with these edges. So once I reach her hairline, I am just gonna start working on it because I'll focus on like all the other colors and highlights and things like that later. But for the hairline, it's actually pretty easy to make it look realistic if you just do this sort of like uneven zigzag like I'm doing right now. You can make some of them long, some of them short, and then you can just kind of like follow the direction that her hair is going. So you can see here it's starting to curve up like this and then move to the right. If the person has like bangs or something, obviously that would be a different story. You wouldn't have to do the hairline. Usually for anyone with pretty short hair, this would be how you do the hairline. And now once I reach this point, I'm just going to continue down the face and then go back around. And again, I'll go ahead and speed this up so you guys don't have to watch the whole thing. So now I'm done with the overall shape of her hair. I really forgot to mention this, and I should have mentioned it much earlier, but please, you guys, always make sure that you are constantly saving your work. It's really just good practice to make sure that you're going to file and then saving as a local file to your computer. And please also make sure that you're putting it in a folder that you're going to remember. Most of you guys will be saving to your Google Drive, so it wouldn't hurt to just make a new folder called graphic design or computer graphics, and then making sure each time you save that you're saving it into that same folder. So I can call this Amelia V1 because it's my first save, and it's going to save as a GV design file. So in case anything happens to my computer, I can always come back and open this up, and I know I haven't lost any of my work. So now I'll go into a few more details of the hair. It looks like this color right here is the general overall color, the majority of it. So I'm probably going to focus on some shadows like here, the shadows right here, and then this one's kind of like by her hairline and a little bit further down. And the easiest way to make the hair look semi-realistic is just to make it really sharp in its edges. So I can go like this and make this little kind of curvy shape that looks pretty sharp. And really just look at the hair, look at what direction it's going in. But you can also make some things up like I'm doing right now. And then again, just kind of like following the original curve like that. And you can do kind of like thinner strands if you want to. You don't have to go crazy with it, but if you want this to be really detailed, then you have that choice. I won't go too far into it just because this is only a tutorial video. This isn't my actual project. And we can just continue through like this. They don't all have to be really sharp and detailed. And then when I get to this area, I can maybe do something like this. And again, you're just kind of following what you see. So more little zigzags on top of the original zigzags, because the hair does get lighter by the hairline, and then I can just connect it. And we can do some strands up here. So if you want to go into more detail, you definitely can. There are some highlights up here. There's some nice little highlights here, and it'll give the effect of like shiny hair that's really wavy as well. But that's totally up to you. You don't have to go that crazy, but if you'd like to, you can. And the last thing I'll do in this video is the ears. In the next video, I'll just show you guys how to color everything, and you'll see what it's going to look like at the very end. So I'm going to do the ears and the earrings, but I'm going to go ahead and just speed it up. So that's it for this video. In the next one, I'll just show you guys how to color everything and finish up your vector portrait project.